Hey guys, Jared Duckett, Duckett Lads CPAs and Advisors. I want to thank you guys for tuning into the video series we're doing, Setting Up for Scaling Up, talking about the 8 business principles that we think small business owners need to instill in their business to prepare themselves for meaningful growth. Last episode, we talked about processes and procedures, how important it is in your business to systemize it and think about the processes and procedures for every single aspect of your business so that everything's done the same way every time. Today we're going to talk about leveraging technology. And there's a great quote by Scott McNeely that says, technology has the shelf life of a banana. And you think about that, it's exactly true. Every year, maybe every 6 months, something's changing, something new that's come out that's a distraction that you're looking at, but maybe that could be beneficial in your business and you can leverage that technology to make things better. A lot of times when I'm talking to business owners, I always say, when you look at technology, try to make sure once you implement that technology, that it's basically creating efficiencies. Let me back up. It's automating a process that makes you more efficient and effective. So today we've got Sam Blaine, who's joined us from Atlas Security. I think he's a great guy to talk to regarding leveraging technology, especially what they do at their business. So Sam, I appreciate you coming over, taking the time to help us out and chat about technology.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
You betcha. Well, first of all, Sam, kind of talk about just in general, how you guys utilize technology at Atlas. I know you guys, you kind of sell technology, the service that you have. So talk a little bit about that, but also how you implement other technology in your business.
Yeah, so obviously Atlas, we use technology every day. So we're installing security systems, we're installing that product, but then we're also installing, we've got software in the back end to monitor those systems. So our whole daily life is all wrapped around technology. However, today we're kind of talking about how Atlas uses technology to help us in business.
Right.
And it kind of took me a second to kind of think about, okay, how do we do that? And we do that in a lot of ways. So some ways that we use technology at our business would be everything from the software that we use. So we've got a main software like most people probably do that run like their billing and some of their day-to-day operations. We have 4 distinct departments at Atlas. So probably similar to a lot of companies too. We have sales, kind of an office team that does kind of accounting, billing. We have our central station and we have our technical team. And so all those have to touch that software and be familiar with it, and they're all just doing kind of a different piece. So you've kind of got like a workflow that as it goes through, this person does this person does that, and it kind of works us through what I call like the life cycle of a customer. So we bring you on and then it kind of goes through the different people in our department. Most companies are going to have that.
Sure.
It's finding a software that works for you and ways that software can adapt and ways that you can do that. So we do everything from that to apps that we use to, you and I have talked about Workplace that we've used. Workplace is kind of like Facebook for your business that's internal. It's amazing. It's changed our business in the way that we communicate with each other because everybody can email. I can shoot you an email and it comes back and I can send it to a group and that's great and everything, but I've read a lot of things that don't let everything live in email. Having Workplace kind of gives almost like this little community, just like if you're walking around the office and chatting with each other. There's different groups you can set up. We set up one specifically that's been really helpful for us. It's changed things and where sometimes you have in your business different departments that maybe don't normally talk, so it's allowed that to happen. So where sales can talk to the tech team and talk to central, and everybody starts creating these little kind of business little relationships through that Facebook Workplace type thing, and then it's safe because it's all internal. It's what you're using there, and it gets fun too. I mentioned earlier that we have little Giphies that we do, like with something of Will Ferrell and whatever, and it's just fun, so it keeps it light as well.
Yeah, well, it's a good central place for everybody to go to, and you can see, just from talking about Workplace as how, implementing that in your business has made things more efficient, as opposed to email here, email back, group emails, reply alls, and all this stuff. It's boom, there in a central location where communication is greatly, gotten better by doing that. So.
Yeah. And that's a good point about communication, because I feel like we all use email, phone, text, IM, Facebook Messenger.
Keep going.
We have all these things, right? And so there's what I believe though is there's a place for everything. And so it's this balance of, okay, when do I communicate this and on what platform am I going to do that on? So it might be easier for me to pick up the phone and call you, right. Or maybe this is, I don't want to bother you, I'm going to shoot you a text. So it's interesting also adapting to your employees and to your customers on how do they communicate. So like customers, for example, using technology. We typically would see how they best communicate, and that's how we communicate with them.
Oh yeah, adapt to how they like to do
Right,
things.
so and originally, like, say, take text for example. Text has been kind of like known as this maybe real informal thing, and it's maybe not, it's becoming though more accepted in the business world, because if you initiate a text with me regarding business, I'm gonna say, okay, he's cool with that. I'm gonna text him back that because it's small enough. Now if it starts to get big enough, in a bigger subject, that's when I might transfer to maybe an email. Okay, now it's gotten bigger, but then maybe there's some emotion that needs to happen, and maybe I need to pick up the phone and call you. And then maybe we take it to the next step, and it's like, hey, this is worth actually me meeting with Jared face to face.
Right.
And so it's interesting the different steps, and everybody kind of gauges that differently though. And so we just try to, with employees and with customers, kind of feel out what's the best thing here for this type of communication. And so technology's good, but then, like I've mentioned to you before, face-to-face, don't ever let that go away either, because there's no sort of technology that can maybe replace that other than FaceTime, which
Right.
I talked to you about a little bit that we've used, but still I think that face-to-face is always like a great thing to keep in mind.
So you're kind of talking about how leveraging technology in your business can increase your relationships with your clients, your customers, prospective clients, etc. But you also need to make sure, you're kind of walking that line to make sure you still have that personal contact with that person. So it's interesting how that can all work together. Talk a little bit about Sam. How long have you been over at Atlas Security?
Oh man, this is 17 years.
17 years.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about your first day at Atlas to now. And like Scott McNeely says, technology has the shelf life of a banana.
Yeah.
Kind of talk about technology then, what you guys used in your business to make yourself better as opposed to now, and how much it's changed.
Yeah, that's good. So it's changed a lot. When I started the company, I was a technician, so I was actually installing systems. One of the things that was interesting, just to use as an example, would be I was thinking about ways to get places.
Yeah.
So when I was given a job and I've got to go to ABC company and go install an alarm system, they give me an address of 3045 East Kearney, and I'm like, I know where Kearney is, but I'm probably gonna need to get out a map, kind of figure out where I'm at.
Did you say a map?
Yeah.
Okay.
A paper map.
Right.
Folds. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So that was, you're in the van and you're trying to figure out where you're going, and you'd actually block in some extra time for that. You'd leave, so much earlier because you're trying to figure that out. Well, then like Google Maps came along, so we would actually log on to there, insert the address, print off a map. It was still paper.
And take it with you. Yeah.
Take it with you. And then the next thing was, once we started getting into smartphones and things like that, then you're using like Google Maps on your phone, so it just made life simpler. So it's kind of a good example of where we've come with one piece of it would be the mapping part. And now that we have our phones, it's all mapped. And then you've seen now where stuff's even linked to things. So I bring up this in my software and I can just click on that map. I don't even have to go to Google Maps, it's leading me there. And so I can click on that and it's automatically bringing up my directions to go there. And so it's just making life easier and simpler over the years.
That's the key too, is that technology, like I said, has made you more effective. Has shed time off how early you have to leave, because you didn't have to use that map. You had it right there on your iPhone.
Yep.
So it's definitely made a better process. And more effective
absolutely.
process.
Yep.
So that's awesome. Well, Sam, talk real quick a little bit about if you could speak to business owners on like 3 tips or 3 things maybe you've seen you need to do in your business to utilize technology more. What are 3 takeaways you could give to a viewer that says, hey, I would recommend looking at maybe 2 or 3 things to get the most out of technology that's out there?
Yeah, I would say 1, we have a CRM in place that works with our software, but I'll be honest, it could be better. Sure. I think there's some things that I've seen that are out there, but it kind of it hinges with people on budget. You know, there's some great stuff out there, but it's maybe too expensive for you.
Right.
And so, you know, being a small to medium business, you've got to keep your budget in mind as well. And so I'm kind of looking, you know, and so that's a tip for myself is finding a CRM that works for our business, or you finding one that works for your business. Really a CRM to me, I was kind of doing some research on that it talks about tracking relationships, not necessarily tracking sales. I believe in that it's tracking relationships. So you're learning about this customer. So, you know, Jared, you're a customer of mine.
Sure.
And so one of the things that I pay attention to is like the little things like, you know, Jared loves this or Jared loves that, or don't do this next time, Jared didn't like that, you know, or whatever, those little notes. And so finding a CRM that helps make your team better, you know, to insert those notes and to make you better at what you do, because truly what it's all about for all of us is customer service, you know. So how can we do our jobs better? So a CRM would be one. Another one of mine is that I've got written down here is allowing clients to schedule their own appointments.
Oh, it's big.
I'll throw out a little plug to Hudson Hawk. I'm a customer, and they allow me as a client to schedule my own appointment online. Makes my life easy. And how can we make our clients' life easier with things? And so I want Atlas to be able to allow our clients to schedule their own appointment. And you've got to have the software and the technology to do that.
Right.
And so that'd be another tip for someone. And another one I had here was creating a new income stream by selling your products online. Now that doesn't work for everyone as far as being able to sell your product online. Like Hudson Hawk can't sell a haircut online necessarily because you have to physically go in and get your haircut.
Sure.
But we can. And some other companies can do that. But how can we get into that? You know, how do we best do that? You know, utilizing technology in our website to put something in. And actually, we're moving in that process. So that's something that we've got on the list this year to be able to do, because in our industry, we don't want to lose out to, you know, we've got millennials that are out there that they want to buy everything online. They maybe don't want the interaction face to face, and they're looking at DIY and some different things. Well, what can we do to get into that market?
That's right.
So,
I mean, you bring up a great point, especially that income stream. You know, how big of an audience could you be by getting it out there, you know, online compared? And you also hit on one key thing that's awesome is you constantly have to look at technology and what's out there and how stuff's changing, because your competitors or other people are doing that too. You know, one of our core values is always move forward. Well, what if we're not moving forward? What if we're comfortable with what we're doing? And, you know, we got this figured out. We're doing it the right way. Well, maybe other people are doing something a little better, and then we're going to become stagnant. We're going to get stuck in the mud, and everybody's going to fly past us. Well, we're just very comfortable. So that's great, Sam. I definitely appreciate you coming by. I think you guys are doing some really cool things at Atlas, and you guys leverage technology more than anybody I know, probably. But real quick before we go, give us a little insight into what you guys are doing over at Atlas, and
sure.
Tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, a lot of people I've noticed recognize the name, the logo. We've been around for 56 years. It's very personal to me because my wife's grandfather started the company 56 years ago. And so some of the things that we do, obviously our core is security, fire, access control, cameras, but we're getting into home automation, so that's becoming a new exciting thing that we're doing. So that's kind of helping to, like I mentioned earlier about the millennials, kind of getting into some things that are the cool factor. Sometimes people don't always want to talk about their security system, but they love talking about their home automation side. Like I can do these lights and these locks and thermostat, and I can open my garage door. And one of the things we're getting into, people have probably kind of been blowing up to here the last year or two, is like a video doorbell. You know, that's been kind of a big thing. So that's our next thing that we're getting into. So Atlas, we sell this stuff, we install it, we monitor it, we service it right here in Springfield, Missouri. So, you know, we're 100% local, so we're very proud of that. We carry a product line for our security called DMP. It's also made right here in Springfield, and that's also family. It's all kind of within the same. And those are the main things we're super proud of.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you do the home automation side of it as well.
Yeah.
That's something I just found out right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome. You know, and that's the thing, especially with younger people, is that they want all those bells and whistles on their on their home. And so come see you, especially for a local company.
Yeah, and if we stop, like you said, if we stop learning about our industry, and that we're doing a disservice to our customer as well, because we have customers that have been with us for 30, 40 years. If we stopped moving forward with technology, it would be our grave, for our business. And so we have to keep doing that. And so I really appreciate you coming here and thinking about me for this topic as well, because it really fits into what we do.
Perfect. Sam, I appreciate you coming by again,
Yeah,
definitely.
you're welcome.
Guys, well, I appreciate you tuning in. I think this is some great stuff that Sam brought regarding leveraging technology. Remember, leveraging technology needs to be able to create a process and make it automated that makes it more efficient and effective. If you're implementing technology that's taking you a step back and you're not moving forward, that's probably bad tech. But you're going to take a step back, but more importantly, you need to take 2 steps forward to make your business better. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Till next time, go get better.